It is the method by which the parental organism can be divided into several fragments. See, for example, like this. The parental organism can be divided into several fragments. Several fragments. So this is one fragment. Fragmentation. It is the method by which the parental organism can be divided into several fragments. So these are all the fragments can generate, can give rise to whole new organism. That is called fragmentation. So each fragment has the capacity to regenerate whole body parts. Each fragment, this fragment can give rise to new parental organism, new individual. This one. Each fragment can give rise to whole body. This process is called fragmentation. Fragmentation is also called regeneration. So the cut parts, whatever may be the parts from the organism is cut, the cut parts can give rise to whole new organism. This phenomenon is called fragmentation. Fragmentation is also called regeneration. So the fragmented parts can give rise to, can regenerate the new body. Okay, so examples: planaria, hydra, starfish, marine organisms, fungi, algae, protonema of masses. Protonema means thread-like structure, stem-like structure in mass plants also can give rise to new plants. Fungi. See here, this is. If this part is cut, it will give rise to new plant. This part will give rise to new plant. So if this part is cut, it can give rise to new plants. Fungi. Algae. So algae are different types: blue algae, green algae, brown algae, red algae, like this. So those algae will show the cut fragments will give rise to new plants. So algae just like algae shows just like vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation is similar to asexual reproduction. So that is called fragmentation. Next, D. Binary fission. Actually, here if you will see detailed, it is called fission. Fission means splitting of parental organism into into several parts. That process is called fission. The fission could be of two types. One is binary fission, other one is multiple fission. So the binary fission, binary fission occurs in bacteria, protist organisms like bacteria, protist organisms like amoeba, shows binary fission. So what is binary fission? Already we knew that it. Binary fission. So the parental organism is divided into two parts. The nucleus is divided into two parts. So like this way, the outer wall will grow like this. When it will grow fully, so this will be divided into two parts. It will grow as a new unit, it will grow as a new unit. It is called binary fission. The binary fission occurs in amoeba, bacteria, etc. Okay, so multiple fission. So the multiple fission commonly seen in malarial parasites. When malarial parasites entered in our body, so the single parasite divides into multiple fissions. So this is a single parasite. This is single parasite divides into multiple fissions. So each cut part will develop into new parasites. That is called multiple fission. One example is malarial parasites, and one more example is amoeba. Amoeba shows two types of fissions. Binary fission it will show, multiple fission it will show. So it depends upon favorable conditions. Okay, so when unfavorable conditions are found, at that time the amoeba forms thick spore around its body. This is called cyst. Cyst is formed around its body. Okay, so the amoeba produces a number of fragments. So the amoeba splits into number of fragments. Amoeba present inside of the body during unfavorable conditions. When favorable conditions are present, the amoeba body is split into several parts. Each part acts as daughter amoeba. So each fragment, each piece can multiply into new parental organisms. That is called fission. Okay, binary fission and multiple fission. So fission is two types: binary fission, multiple fissions. So these are all the reproductions, asexual reproduction. So first one is spores, second one is budding, third one is fragmentation, and fourth one is fission. These are all the various types of asexual reproduction. In such a way, different kinds of organisms multiply their population and spread on our planet. Here we will see, in these organisms, whatever may be the organisms we have discussed, in these organisms, reproduction is synonymous with growth. 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 That means what? The cell number is increased. The cell number is increased simultaneously as they reproduce. See, for example, this is binary fission. Initially 2, later 4, later 6, later 8, later like this way. Their population is increased. So in these organisms, reproduction is synonymous with growth. Why? The cell number is increased simultaneously with the reproduction. So reproduction, as a result of reproduction, cell number is increased. So that growth to reproduction both simultaneously occurs. That's why reproduction is synonymous with the growth. So see, reproduction 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is 64. 64 organisms. The cell is divided into 64. This 64 will show growth. First reproduction, after reproduction growth. So both the terms, growth to reproduction, simultaneously. First reproduction, next growth. After growth, the same organism again undergoes reproduction. So not just formed, reproduced. Next it will grow, but again it will reproduce. So continuous, the cell number is increasing simultaneously with reproduction. Growth to reproduction, growth to reproduction, growth to reproduction. So that both the terms, growth and reproduction, simultaneously occurs in these organisms. Here if you see some organisms, in some of the organisms, the reproduction does not at all takes place. Reproduction not at all occurs. Why? See, for example, some organisms like mules. How mules are found? So, the crossbreeding between male donkey and female horse. The crossbreeding between male donkey and female horse leads to the formation of mule. The mules are sterile. The mules cannot give birth to anyone. Without giving birth to anyone, they can grow. That's why mules are sterile. So why mules are produced? Male donkey cannot run fast, but it can carry heavy weights. Horse can run fast, but it not carry heavy weights. So that in between these two they crossbreed and produce one new type of organism that is called mule. The mule can work like a donkey, can carry heavy weights. It's also work like a horse, can run fast. So our time and money saves. But the mule cannot give birth to anyone. That is why mules are sterile. Worker honeybee is also called sterile. Worker honeybee is also sterile. Many human couples, number of human couples are infertile. Many infertile couples. Among us, many newly married couples are infertile. They cannot give birth to young ones. That means what? Reproduction is not a defining characteristic feature of all the living organism. Why? Here, mule, without giving birth to young one, it can happily survive. Worker honeybee, it will not give birth to young ones. Its duty is work. Take care of beehive. Some human couples, they cannot give birth to young ones. So without giving birth to young ones, only they can finish their life. Some members, they are infertile couples. Some human couples, some newly married couples are infertile, sterile couples. So without reproduction, they can go their life happily. Therefore, reproduction is not a defining specific feature of all the living organisms. Some organisms without showing reproduction also they can survive. That is I want to say. Growth is the defining features of all the living organisms. Growth is important feature of all the living organisms. How growth is important feature? Like that, reproduction is not the defining characteristic feature of all the living organisms. So some of the living organisms, without reproduction, they can live their life. But they will face little problem, some psychological depression. So that is none of our point. Okay. Next, non-living objects not at all show any type of replication or reproduction. For example, this duster. What can show? It will not show any reproduction. Okay, that's non-living organisms don't show any type of replication or reproduction. But living organisms shows reproduction. But all the living organisms cannot give birth to young ones. So in animals, insects, human beings, example is that. Okay, so that is called reproduction. Next, metabolism means all chemical reactions that occurs instead of the living organisms. Metabolism refers to all the chemical reactions that occurs instead of the living organisms. So here the metabolic reactions are two types. Anabolism, anabolism, catabolism, anabolism, catabolism. Anabolism, construction of material. Construction or build up the food material in the living organisms. So, for this example is photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, what happens? The food material is constructed. That phenomenon is called anabolism. Whereas catabolism, in this one, breakdown of the food material. That is called catabolism. So, respiration. Respiration, respiration is the process. Catabolism, example is the respiration. Anabolism, example is process. Respiration. So when we are respire at that time, whatever the food material is present in our body, it will break down and releases energy in the form of. So all these are called chemical reactions. All the chemical reactions that occurs inside the living organisms, those reactions are called metabolic reactions. The metabolism is of two types. See all the second point, all the chemical and biochemical reactions that occurs in all the living organisms, including unicellular and multicellular organisms. All chemical and biochemical reactions. Chemical and biochemical reactions. All the chemical and biochemical reactions that occurs in the living organisms, including all unicellular and multicellular organisms. Unicellular and multicellular organisms. Unicellular and multicellular organisms. If we will see unicellular organisms like amoeba, bacteria, fungi, algae, protists, etc. etc. Unicellular organisms, metabolic reactions occurs, which are necessary and vital for its survival. Okay, so unicellular organisms, all the metabolic reactions are occurs. Those metabolic reactions are necessary and very, very vital. Vital means important for those organisms. Multicellular organisms. systems and within the systems, within the specific systems and the cells. For example, digestive system will show metabolic reactions. Respiration. In our body systems, digestive system, respiratory system, transport system. In those systems, all the cells are present. In those systems, number of cells are present. So those all the cells shows metabolic reactions. Not only in animals, multicellular organisms, whether plant or animal, in every organisms. In unicellular, how in the same way, multicellular organisms also, in all the cells and cell systems, metabolic reactions are occurring. Okay? So that metabolism is an important feature for all the living objects. Here, non-living objects, if you will see non-living organisms, non-living things. Non-living things, they cannot show metabolic reactions. But they do show reaction that occurs outside the cell system. See, it is non-living thing. It will not show metabolic reactions, but it will show some reactions. So, what reactions it will show? See, if you will keep it outside, if you will leave it outside, after 1 month, if you will see, it will show some reactions in the environment. Those reactions are occurs outside the cell system. Outside the cell system. Okay, that is here. Non-living things don't show metabolic, but they do show some reactions. Some reactions that occurs outside the cell system. Outside the cell system. Here, since metabolic reactions occurs in all the cells, since metabolic reactions occurs in all the cells, hence cellular organization means what? Number of cells in our body, whatever maybe the cells are present, those are all the cells shows metabolic reactions. Since metabolic reactions occurs in cells, hence cellular organization is the defining characteristic feature of all the living organisms. Cellular organization. See, our nose is made up of a number of cells. In our body, every body organ made up of by cellular organization. So, cellular organization is the defining feature of all the living organisms. Cellular organization means what? Metabolic organization. In cells, each and every cell, metabolic reactions take place. Therefore, indirectly, metabolic reactions are defining specific characteristic feature of all the living organisms without any exceptions. But in non-living organisms, they don't show any metabolic reactions. For example, if we will take any organ from our body, that organ, if we will keep it in test tube, is it will show any metabolic reactions? No. For example, if we will take it heart and keep it in test tube, is it will show any metabolic reaction? No. Kidney will keep it in test tube. Eye will keep it in test tube. And isolated metabolic reactions of our body. And isolated metabolic reactions of our body. If this is the isolated organ kept in test tube or in the laboratory, neither it is living nor non-living. It will not live nor non-living. So, if we take it from our body, we keep it in the test tube, it is non-living only. Okay, no. Neither living nor non-living. It is not a living or not a non-living. It will be decomposed. Any body part from our body, if we will take it and keep it in the test tube, it will not show any kind of metabolic reactions. Simply, it will reacting with some automatically some bacteria, some parasites will end up and starts decomposing them. Such kind of materials we cannot say that it